Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us. We're doing a daily Advent devotional series, and I'm just so excited to be a part of it. My name is Shere Lutz, and I am the Kids Ministry Events Coordinator at the South Kansas City campus at Colonial Presbyterian Church. As I was preparing this devotional, I wanted to come a little bit from a kid's perspective, just working in that department. And I had read somewhere in some research that tradition is something that can really help give a child a sense of belonging, a sense of security, and then as they take that later in life, really can help shape an identity for a person as a whole. And I do think Advent and the Christmas season is a very amazing time to be able to build in some of those traditions and rhythms into a family. I know for myself, my family of origin had a lot of Christmas and Advent traditions, but I thought the one I wanted to talk about that has been the most important to us is the narrative from the book of Luke in Luke 2 that talks about the Christmas story specifically. The entire book of Luke has become important to my family in many ways. Luke was a physician. My father is also a physician. He also is the patron saint of artists and painters. There's an apocryphal story, but that Luke was perhaps the first artist to paint the picture of the mother and child, and that all of those subsequent paintings were based off of his. But that narrative in Luke 2 really came into play on Christmas Eve. My parents had this beautiful tradition with us where every Christmas Eve we would sit down and my father would read through that Luke 2 passage. My mother had a beautiful nativity scene that would have been up all month, and we as children would have admired it all December long. But on Christmas Eve, we took it all down, and as my father went through the story, each child would get to go get one of those characters as he read about them and bring it back to the nativity scene. So that included people like Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus and the angel and the shepherds. Of course, as kids, we always thought we hit the jackpot when we got to bring in the donkey or the sheep because the animals were very exciting. But I do think that helped us also have a posture of awe for that baby Jesus and that moment in the Christmas story, because we were literally bringing the characters in to the stable in an active way. We were participating in that story, almost like bringing our own gifts to the baby Jesus, like the shepherds and the wise men. It's something that we as adults have now passed on to our own children. And I know it has been one of the biggest joys of my life to watch my own kids get excited to participate in this tradition. So much so that on a Christmas when we couldn't all be together, we all FaceTimed my father, and he read it to all of us, and each of our children in our separate homes with our separate nativity scenes did this action. And it just felt so neat to be part of that group, the same way the shepherds were part of the group, and the wise men were part of the group that came and honored Jesus. It meant so much to us that, in fact, one of my sisters has named her son Luke, partly after this book of the Bible. I named my own son Gabriel after the angel Gabriel who came to Elizabeth. And his life verse says, "Behold, I am Gabriel. I stand in the very presence of the Lord, and it is he who has sent me to bring you the good news." And that verse encapsulates what it is in the Advent Christmas season. The baby Jesus is coming down to be and share the good news. So I really encourage you to build maybe that tradition into your family. It doesn't matter if it's the little tykes, nativity scene, or one made out of precious stones. But make sure you can put yourself in that scene to honor and give glory to that little baby who came down and who would later be our Savior. So happy Advent and Merry Christmas to everyone. We hope to see you soon.